thing I'd like you to know is that there are only a group of persons that are usually or were usually allowed to incorporate businesses of all kinds, and there were lawyers or law firms, chartered accountants or their firms, or chartered secretaries and their firms. But today, with the new 2020 released website for registering business organizations, the website has become user friendly. What does it mean? It means that a director, a shareholder, a business proprietor, any person seeking to register a business in Nigeria can register the business by himself or herself. So, should you register your business by yourself? This is the question I will be answering at the end of this video. Need to note that incorporating a company does not just end once you get your certificate of incorporation. There are certain things you need to keep doing in order to continue the business, and to make you eligible for certain things. Per se, a director dies or a shareholder dies and you want the shares to be transferred to someone else. You cannot alter the shareholding or the director's subscription anyhow. You need to have already filed your annual returns in order to be eligible for these things. If you want to apply for a bid, have you filed your annual returns? Have you been paying your tax? So it doesn't just stop at I want to own a business or I want to own a company. You need to realize that you will be paying annual return. And usually as a lawyer, if you register a business, I suggest you keep a list. You just keep going through the list of companies that you might have registered and be informing the owners of these businesses about paying annual returns, so that you can develop a very strong customer client relationship, and they actually depend on you. When a customer wants to bid for something, he doesn't need to be running about. Everything he has is already set out in front of him. All he needs to do is just bid. That likely would draw more customers to you. So pay your annual returns and your tax yearly, and whatever dues you owe to a particular geographical location or jurisdiction that you're in. It helps fasten bid. Particularly, I really want to speak about this bid because people begin to rally round when they want to apply for bids, because they have not done all they have supposed to be been doing all through the existence of the business. Next, you need to note that there is a minimum share capital for each type of business. If you want to open a financial company, usually the minimum share capital, as I know now, is 20 million naira. Not every company has to have 1 million share capital as its shareholding. Companies differ depending on the type of projects that there are companies that do different things. Like if you want to open a microfinance bank in Nigeria, private microfinance bank in Nigeria, I know that the minimum shareholding is 20 million naira, and for federal and state it's like 60 million naira, and for financial companies, like I said earlier, it's like 20 million naira. So not every type of business is in the 1 million naira share capital. So these are things you need to know before you begin thinking of incorporating any company of your choice. You need to find out this information, and sure they'll be silent to the incorporation, so that your business doesn't get queried at CAC, the incorporation of your business doesn't get queried, or you find yourself defaulting when you've gotten certificates, and then you begin to try to propel other things, and they're like, no, your share capital your share capital is not up to the minimum allowed capital for the objectives of that particular. Next, you need to know that directors and shareholders are not the same. Shareholders are persons who own shares in the company. They are the members, owners of a company. Directors are more like the servants, executive, principal servants of a company. A shareholder must not be a director, and a director must not be a shareholder. You need to learn that there are different types of directors. There are live directors. These are people that are not subject to rotation, because you're supposed to rotate your directors every year, but a live director is not subject to rotation. These are things you need to find out and just be in the know you know, before you incorporate a company. It's just that you need to know the systematic way, the practical way of how things are run. It's just not about having the name or saying I have a company, I have a company. You need to understand how these things are. You need to understand these are the routes that help you legally, you know, efficiently and legally run your company without hassle. Next tip, it's like a bonus tip. I would advise you never pay personal money into your corporate account, because you would be taxed based on how much money comes into your account. So imagine being taxed on money you used for business and money you do not use for business. That is going to be a huge loss on your part. So please always have it in mind that if you're opening a corporate account, you do not pay personal money into that account, because it is going to affect your taxes at the end of the day. I completely forgot to talk about whether one should register their businesses by themselves. If you ask me, if you are not well versed with registering, incorporating companies or business names or business organizations of any kind, I advise you leave it to people that are well versed, because watching the video might not be enough for certain kinds of persons. You know, some need to be properly like taught one-on-one. So if you know that watching a video will not be entirely like enough for you, or it's just completely confusing for you, I advise you just leave the incorporation to someone that is well versed in things like this, to avoid unnecessary queries in your incorporation activities. So I've come to the end of the tips. I wanted to share on what you should know about having a company in Nigeria. Just realize that it doesn't just end at incorporating a company. There are things, silent things you need to be doing in order to efficiently keep the company in the good books of the Corporate Affairs Commission and at the tax establishment too. I hope my video was helpful. If you have any other questions, I will be waiting in my comment section to answer whatever questions you have. I hope you learned a lot from my video, and I hope to see you in my next video. Thank you for watching.